All right, let's talk about NAIC. Honestly, I did pretty bad. I still had a lot of fun. It was still like a great trip, meeting people, and just getting out there like in the community was super nice. Taking the weekend off, going to Columbus. So the team originally started out as a team with Iron Valiant, and it was in Prison Trick Room, and also like in Prison on the Dazzling Gleam. Could shut down some Flutter mains if they've already like choice locked it. But what it came down to is that Iron Valiant was still losing to Flutter mains Moonblast. It was still losing if it was somehow faster, which if it was booster energy, like it was very possible. So I went with something a little more bulkier, and that's where I went with Screamtail. So Screamtail was the final end choice. I went with Protect, Dazzling Gleam, Encore, and Trick Room. I do think, in retrospect, like I'll talk about it a little more, but I ended up going 2-7, and it's not the best results. Going into it, I knew that this team had a hard time against two Mons, Iron Hands and Golden Go. So I could work around them, but it was kind of tricky, especially with the Golden Go. I kind of had to try to get Force Terra on something other than the Golden Go. And basically, every match I went up against, I either faced an Iron Hands, a Golden Go, or both. So I just pulled a lot of bad matchups. Grimmsnarl as well. Like Grimmsnarl with either of those two Mons gave me a whole lot of trouble because this team is built around special attackers. So if it wasn't for Spirit Break, I could do a lot of damage. But with Grimmsnarl, especially one that had Thunder Wave or screens, it shut down like my damage capabilities. So that is something that honestly, like I knew that Grimmsnarl was getting a little more popped up. Winter Knight and I talked about it, where like Grimmsnarl was one of those choices that like I might do instead of a Screamtail. But Grimmsnarl doesn't have a way to reverse or stop Trick Room. So I think the Screamtail was a good choice. I think it was the right choice, but there was other things that were wrong with the composition of the team that made it really hard to play it better. First off, everyone was prepped for Amoonguss. Amoonguss in a lot of these matchups, especially against the Golden Go, the Iron Hands that were either Terra Grass or Safety Goggles, it felt useless. Amoonguss against all of the matchups I had felt really useless. I think I only ended up bringing it to like 4 or 5 games, and that was between like 2 to 3 rounds. So the one matchup where I thought I would have had really well with it, I went up against a Taunt Palafin. So the Taunt Palafin like immediately shut it down, and from there it felt useless, and that really stinks because Amoonguss is the main part of the defensive core. The Rage Powder, the Regenerator, the Pollen Puff, the Spore. So not feeling comfortable bringing Amoonguss to the matchups made the team feel like really, really poor. Yeah, Screamtail is honestly really good. Screamtail was good. There was definitely a lot of times where like Encore really paid off, and there was a lot of times where like Encore was like a really big gamble. I would Encore Dragonites into Dragon Dance. I would Encore Annihilapes into Bulk Up. The one win I did squeeze out of, the team did what it was supposed to do. But the one win I had, I first encored this Annihilape into Bulk Up and let it get to +4 on defense and attack. And then I switched in and then like I started knocking out pieces around it. I switched in Gyarados and got the Thunder Wave off, but I proc Defiant, so it was +6. Like this was a fully stacked Annihilape. But I was able to do the all my friends are gone syndrome, and I took all the other pieces out. So it was just this super beefed up Annihilape, And Great Tusk and Gyarados between Waterfall and Rock Slide, I flinched it or parried it for like 4 out of 5 turns after all of the other pieces were gone. I realized my opponent was ignoring the Great Tusk and trying to get rid of the Gyarados, so I switched in Iron Bundle, and at that point they took down Gyarados, so I brought back in Great Tusk, went for Headlong Rush, and Water Pulse, and I got the confusion. So I para-flinched them a bunch, and then when they finally tried to go, like, I got the confusion off. Like that, but that's what the team's built around. The team is built around setting up Chi-Yu and then using the rest of the Mons to create like RNG situations with Spore, with Thunder Wave, with Rock Slide, with Waterfall and Iron Head. And like I said, like not being able to bring Amoonguss and a lot of the matchups just felt really bad. Like Amoonguss was useless against a lot of the teams. Great Tusk came to more matches than I thought. Great Tusk was kind of like what I planned. It was pretty good in the end game, but I couldn't set up the Chi-Yu. Like I didn't get good situations to set up the Chi-Yu, and a lot of that was that the Amoonguss felt useless. Like, and when it comes to the booster energy on Screamtail, I needed the booster energy to outspeed a lot of things, because you only get to 176 without it. But there were a lot of matchups where there was a booster bundle, and I couldn't get the speed advantage that I needed. I couldn't capitalize off of hitting hard with Chi-Yu or getting Thunder Waves off, and it just, like, the team folded because of that. So looking back, I definitely should have went booster energy bundle. I was talking to someone like later on in the day in Saturday, and they literally said, if you're not using booster bundle, you're kind of throwing. And it's just like, no, I know, because mine had Focus Sash this weekend. So, I mean, I still feel good about the team. I still feel like it's a good team. It's just that bringing it to NAIC and not having good answers for the Iron Hands, for the Golden Go, just kind of stunk. It felt really bad. And the teams that did have Grimmsnarl really hurt this team, because it's a momentum based team. And so when Grimmsnarl with screens, with Thunderwave, with Spirit Break was able to slow down that momentum, it was really hard to position it well. But I mean, you live and you learn. I really thought that, like, I was really bummed going the 2-7. And of course, like, one of the matches I took a game 1 loss because I was at the Pokemon Center trying to get merch, and I like just ran up. I was just gonna like completely ignore the round 8 match, but I played it anyway and just lost the second game. I took a round 1 loss, and I think once I started playing bad, it got thrown off. The first 4 or 5 rounds, I played really good. I didn't win all of them, but I played really good. Round 4, I played against Javier Velades. A lot of people might know him as IR Nemesis. IR Nemesis had a really cool team. He once again had the Golden Go, but he paired it up with a Pop Bomb Mousehold, and Mousehold shredded my team. I took him to a game 3. And I knew that he was a really good player. I knew that he was a really good opponent, and that it was going to be a challenge. So I felt good bringing him to a game 3. But oh man, the Mousehold just shredded the team. Even after Intimidates from Gyarados, Pop Bomb was able to just one-shot Chi-Yu. It wasn't fun. But, I mean, that being said, I definitely thought I would feel a little defeated, which I did. I absolutely did. But it made me want to try harder. And I just thought about how, like, far behind I feel at Regulation D. And I was just like, we got to keep moving forward. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about Delphox. We're going to talk about, I'm going to build the 2 Regulation D teams, hopefully the 2 Regulation D teams tonight, and we'll see how it goes. Because I won't be home this weekend either, so I need to get a lot of content. This is going to be pre-recorded, so you guys are going to see this on the channel later. But I am live right now for those of you who are watching the recording, and just know that there is hopefully more stuff coming. And don't forget to like and subscribe. That's going to be all for Regulation C. And honestly, my VGC 2023 season, unless I find a local to go to. So that's that.